Hey YouTube, it's Jeff at Dark Moon Metals. Today I have a project where I need to weld together a whole bunch of tubing. And I went out and purchased the tubing last night. The one problem is I don't really have a fixturing jig where I can put this and get my bevel cuts. Now when I say bevel cuts, I'm sure there's a more appropriate name for it, but if I wanted to weld these two pieces together just like that, you see I have these huge gaps on either side. So I basically need to do that. I need to bevel this out and make a concave cut so one pipe will intersect with the other one, make welding a heck of a lot easier. Now this is a sample piece. I just made it out of a short piece of aluminum vacuum tube last night. I was just going to throw in the scrapyard, but it came in handy for a couple of test cuts. So what I'm doing over here at the drill press, I've got it set up with a hole saw. And last night I was pretty much just able to hold this in my vise and drill straight through it. But this is aluminum. The stuff I have in the truck is steel, so I need to make a holding fixture that'll keep the steel pipe nice and steady while I'm drilling and cutting. Well, here we are out at my scrap pile, and you'll notice it's very organized for a scrap pile. I got tired of having all my stuff all over the yard and just kind of spread out, so got a couple of sawhorses and just threw everything together so it's all in one spot. Now this, I believe, is inch bar, so we're definitely going to take that. I need a base, and over here, this is what's left of a snowplow blade all cut up into sections. In fact, this is what I was teaching Dana how to MIG weld on. So I'm going to use a piece of this, and I'm going to get a few other things, and I'll meet you back in the garage. Okay guys, here's the pile of materials. I've got two pieces of the snowplow blade. One of them's already loaded in the saw. Got a piece of roughly inch round bar. It's kind of hard to tell with all the garbage on the end. The end's all kind of chewed up there. Have a couple of random pieces of round stock that I've had floating around for a while. This is the biggest piece of angle iron I could find in my scrap pile. And that's going to be where the round stock sits, in basically making a V-groove for that. And I have a pair of sacrificial Taiwanese C-clamps. And yeah, they're not the best C-clamps in the world. I don't use them a lot, but I'm going to make something better out of them. Some of you may remember a while back when I scrapped an old metal cutting bandsaw. It was a very inexpensive bandsaw. It was very small, didn't really have a big capacity in it. I recently got my income tax return back, as well as, hopefully the vast majority of the population out there got a decent refund. This was a used metal cutting bandsaw. Its capacity is 12 by 7, and it's beautiful. It's got the coolant system in it, and I really enjoy having a bandsaw in the shop again. It saves me a lot of time. Alright guys, here we go. Now you're going to start getting the picture. All this needs to be welded together. The pipe is going to be able to sit flush in here. I'm going to line these two pieces up, weld it all out, and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Alright guys, I drilled a hole 15-30 seconds right in the center, or roughly the center of the plate. Now remember that piece of inch stock that I cut? This I turned down on the lathe so it'll fit right inside, and I'm going to plug weld it from the other side, so this is a nice flat surface. Now what this is going to do, move this back here, this is going to perfectly locate right in the center of this hole. There's very little play in there at all. So that's going to be how I hold it to the table. Alright guys, as you can tell, I don't have the right size hole saw, but you know, hey, I gotta use what I got. I'm gonna take this off the press and just clean it up a little bit, and I'll show you the contours. Okay guys, I just wanted to touch base a little bit more on the fixture. Now, I ended up changing this around. I didn't draw this out before I built it. I typically don't do that. I'm dyslexic. And me trying to draw something out, unless I really take a lot of time, it doesn't end well. So I cut all the pieces and I build as I go from the ground up. It doesn't work for everybody, but it just kind of works for me. One of the pieces I didn't end up using, I made 4 of these guys, and it was originally going to sit in here and just act as a support for the angle iron. Until I got it together, I really didn't think I was going to be able to get the MIG torch in there. But I was able to lay a halfway decent bead on both sides, and it's not going anywhere. When I had these 2 pieces set up for welding, I had taken another piece of angle iron and laid it in here, clamped it down so these 2 pieces are perfectly aligned. And I can move the table back and forth to cut the ends. This is sitting here like this because I really need to get a new hole saw. This has a couple of bent teeth on it. It's really old and it's grabbing the material and it's just locking up the drill press. It's not really a powerful drill press to begin with, but that's one of the things that I did. And I didn't, to my surprise, and it was completely unintentional, I thought for sure I was going to have to butcher a pair of C-clamps. What I discovered is that I had a really nice lip under here. I built this up kind of like a 2-level deal because I wanted enough clearance where my drill bit and hole saw would go through. If I accidentally pushed too hard and it broke through, I wanted to have a lot of extra clearance so my hole saw and the drill bit inside didn't crash into my my work table on the press itself. So with the help of another small piece of angle, puts a lot of pressure on this. I mean, I'm moving the whole table. This is not gonna come off anytime soon. And I have one of these set up for the other side. So what am I building with all this? Well, the answer is right over here. This is a ladder rack for my my Ford Ranger. And you know, hey, a Ranger's a lightweight pickup truck, and this is a very lightweight ladder rack. It's actually made out of EMT. It's electrical conduit. Now, I know a lot of people out there are like, are you nuts? That stuff's never going to hold. Well, I am only carrying the equivalent of tent poles, which are aluminum, and I didn't really want to have them in the bed of the truck anymore. So it's not going to be used for ladders. It's not going to be used for anything. I mean, the heaviest thing I might keep on this, I might run to Home Depot and, like, you know, buy a random 4x8 sheet of plywood. I really was skeptical about the EMT being able to do any kind of a significant workload as far as weight. But I don't know if I had ever shown you guys this. I can't even remember if it's in a video. But that back here, it's just kind of all messed up right now. This is a Klondike sled that I built for the Scouts. And it's on skis, and it's made out of the lightweight EMT conduit. I wanted to make a sled out of metal because I'm promoting the new welding merit badge to the guys. And, you know, I wove in a rope floor and a rope back. And I just did this because, hey, it was really inexpensive. I mean, some of the 10-foot pieces are only $2, and I don't really have a whole heck of a lot of money at the moment. And I built the sled out of metal simply to promote that welding merit badge. And these kids, being my Scouts and a few other Scout troops, they put this thing through its paces. They had 4 and 5 guys hanging off this thing, flying down hills, and everything held together. And this is like the lightweight EMT. This is the thinnest stuff that you can get. And I saw how well it held up, and I figured, what the heck? I'm going to take it, and I'm going to use it for a ladder rack.
It's not going to have anything truly heavy on it, like I said before, and it really does suit the purpose that I need it for. Plus, the nice part is I can get it off pretty much on and off by myself, which is a huge plus. So, on that note, I'm going to wrap the video here. I want to thank everybody for stopping by. And speaking of scouts, I'm going to be doing a video in the near future, and it's going to be talking about the welding merit badge. So if any of you guys are interested, or you guys have scouts in a troop somewhere, or even Cubs, when it comes out, just drop them by the channel, and maybe they'll be interested in what they see. Maybe they'll take up the welding merit badge. But anyway, for now, I'm going to go in the house, get myself something to eat, and relax. Until the next video, this is Jeff at Dark Moon Metals. We'll see you again soon.